snotty little kids waking up their parents. It's such a beautiful day. It's such a beautiful day. It's such a beautiful day in the neighborhood. The birds are chirping, lawnmowers cutting, barbecue burning, dead animals. It's such a beautiful day. It's such a beautiful day. It's such a fishing day. It's such a wonderful day. It's such a beautiful day. It's such a gorgeous day. It's such a happy day. It's such a beautiful day in the neighborhood.
Just like you do, let the ritual begin. A light a candle, stick another needle in. Pins and needles, that's how I feel for you. Pins and needles, I hope you feel it too. I remember when our eyes first met. Didn't notice, but I'll never forget. Fingernails and hair from your brush. Well, I'd say it's more than a crush. Yeah, pins and needles, that's how I feel for you. Pins and needles, I hope you feel it too. Tonight you're gonna feel it too, yeah.
For the touch of your lips, dear, but much more for the touch of your whips, dear. You can raise welts like nobody else as we dance to the masochism tango. Let our love be a flame, not an ember. Say it's me that you want to dismember. Blacken my eye, set fire to my tie as we dance to the masochism tango. At your command, before you here I stand. My heart is in my hand. Ugh, it's here that I must be. My heart entreats, just hear those savage beats, and go put on your cleats and come and trample me. Your heart is hard as stone or mahogany. That's why I'm in such exquisite agony. My soul is on fire, it's aflame with desire, which is why I perspire when we tango. You caught my nose in your left castanet, love. I can feel the pain yet, love, every time I hear drums. And I envy the rose that you held in your teeth, love, with the thorns underneath, love, sticking into your gums. Your eyes cast a spell that bewitches. The last time I needed 20 stitches to sew up the gash you made with your lash as we danced to the masochism tango. Bash in my brain and make me scream with pain, then kick me once again and say we'll never part. I know too well I'm underneath your spell, so darling, if you smell something burning, it's my heart. Excuse me. Take your cigarette from its holder and burn your initials in my shoulder. Fracture my spine and swear that you're mine as we dance to the masochism tango. I'm spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica, wearing sandals, lighting candles by the sea. I spent Shavuos in East St. Louis, a charming spot, but clearly not the spot for me. Those eastern winters, I can't endure them, so every year I pack my gear and come out here till Purim. Rosh Hashanah I spend in Arizona, and Yom Kippur way down in Mississippi. But in December there's just one place for me. Amid the California flora, I'll be lighting my menorah like a baby in his cradle. I'll be playing with my dreidel, spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica by the sea. I'm spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica, wearing sandals, lighting candles by the sea. I spent Shavuos in East St. Louis, a charming spot, but clearly not the spot for me. Those eastern winters, I can't endure them, so every year I pack my gear and come out here till Purim. Rosh Hashanah I spend in Arizona, and Yom Kippur way down in Mississippi. But in December there's just one place for me. Amid the California flora, I'll be lighting my menorah like a baby in his cradle. I'll be playing with my dreidel. Here's the Judas Maccabeus. Boy, if he could only see us spending Hanukkah in Santa Monica by the sea.
Si Sarabanda ta sere sere, Palo kindiamo ese suawe. Lumbe, 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 lumbe la cueva nganga. Sarabanda ta sere sere, Palo kindiamo ese suawe. Lumbe, lumbe, lumbe ayo, lumbe la cueva nganga we. 7 rayos ta sere sere, Palo kindiamo ese suawe. Lumbe, 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 lumbe. 7 rayos, sere, Palo, guiñamo ese agüe. Vamos a yumbulia, un congo mayumbulia. 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 Viene o no viene, Simba o te llama. Viene, viene, Simba o te espera. Viene, viene, Simba Simbao te espera.
Viene, Simbao te llama. Viene, Simbao te espera.
Viene o no viene, Simbao te llama. Viene, Simbao te espera.
Viene, Simbao te llama. Viene, Simbao te espera.
Yo vine pa' ver, yo vine pa' mirar. Cuando yo llegue a la tierra, yo vine pa' mirar.
Yo vine pa' ver, yo vine pa' mirar.
Yo vine pa' mirar, yo vine pa' mirar.
Yo vine pa' ver, yo vine pa' mirar.
Yo vine pa' mirar, yo vine pa' mirar.
Yo vine pa' ver, yo vine pa' mirar.
Yo vine pa' mirar al mundo, yo vine pa' mirar.
Yo vine pa' ver, yo vine pa' mirar.
Ahora verá, ahora verá, ahora verá, ahora verá. Siete rayos en la palma, ahora verá.
Ahora verá, ahora verá. Siete rayos en la palma, ahora verá.
Ahora verá, ahora verá, ahora verá, nana, ahora verá. Siete rayos en la palma, ahora verá.
Ahora verá, ahora verá. Siete rayos en la palma, ahora verá.
Ahora verá, nana, ahora verá. Ahora verá, nana, ahora verá. Siete rayos en la palma, ahora verá.
Ahora verá, ahora verá. Siete rayos en la palma, ahora verá.
Si en mi tierra no hay sol, yo brinca la angoya. Yo quemo agua no seco, canela colorada.
En mi tierra no hay sol, brinca la goya. Yo quemaba no seco, candela colorada.
Si en mi tierra no hay sol, yo brinca la angoya. Yo quemo agua no seco, candela colorada.
En mi tierra no hay sol, brinca la goya. Yo quemaba no seco, candela colorada.
Si en mi tierra no hay sol, yo brinca la angoya. Yo quemo agua no seco, candela colorada.
En mi tierra no hay sol, brinca la goya. Yo quemaba no seco, candela colorada.
Vamos a la quemanza ahora. Vamos, vamos.
Vamos a la quemanza ahora.
Vamos, vamos.
Vamos a la quemanza ahora.
Vamos, vamos, vamos.
Vamos a la quemanza ahora.
Vamos, vamos, vamos.
Vamos a la quemanza ahora.
Vamos, vamos.
Vamos a la quemanza ahora.
Vamos, vamos.
Vamos a la quemanza ahora.
Vamos, vamos, vamos.
Vamos a la quemanza ahora.
Vamos, vamos, vamos.
Vamos a la quemanza ahora.
Vamos, vamos, vamos.
Vamos a la quemanza ahora.
Esa agua.
Widdershins. Radio for your spiritual side.
Widdershins.
A twisted approach to the left-hand path. You know, we're sorry that our usage of the word left-hand path has gotten so many left-hand path practitioners involved in shit lately, but I don't know. You brought it on yourselves. Most of you are Satanists anyways. But we're here for our...
There's anything wrong with
Not
Satan.
that there's anything wrong with that.
We're not that.
We're
but
not that.
That doesn't mean there's anything wrong with it, though.
Exactly. So, I wanted to do a little intro. The Kindling Wars, okay? I just wanted to use the reference Kindling Wars because it's one of the funniest fucking things that ever happened on South Park.
Crap people.
The Kindling Wars. Palo means stick. So Palo Mayombe, the religion of the stick. I don't know how you want to categorize that, but sticks start a fire, and there's definitely a fire. Now, I wanted to do a little bit of intro because a lot of people don't know what's going on. Hello, Candelo. Salam alaikum. Like that. That was a Palo thing. I just greeted Candelo, and then he says it backwards. Okay, and it's very important. People don't say it backwards to you. There's a problem. But anyway, wanted to explain a little bit of this stuff because, you know, we have a wide variety of audience from all over the place, and you know, I'm sure we have some Palo practitioners, either Kambisa, Mayombe, Monte, all over the map of Palo people. We can go on, and then we got witches, and we got Wiccans, and we got ceremonialists, and we got hoodoos, and we got voodoos, and we got conjurers, and probably some stregas, and oh god, there's so many people at the fucking party. So, just to explain a little bit of what's going on here, we're going to be talking to Tata Oriate about a number of things, but the thing that caught our attention is the latest ruckus within some Palo communities. If you don't know, the majority of, and I'm sure you'll be mad at me, go ahead and, you know, call me out if I say the wrong things, but I'm going to call it as I see it. You know, Palo Mayombe is one of the few male-dominated traditions on the scene. in this day. There tend to be a lot more balanced. There tend to be, the males tend to have the highest standing in most of the houses. Although a powerful yaya is a powerful force and rules the house in a more subtle way than can maybe be recognized. But the direct running of the houses tend to be by the tatas. And we don't have that much these days in all of the other traditions. So in a tradition...
I will let it slide.
Slide. Yaya over here, and Marta and Tata Michael. We've seen a bit of shit, and we know a bit of shit. I don't really tend to throw my titles in Palo around. You won't see, it doesn't say Tata Michael. It also doesn't say High Priest Michael or any of my other fucking titles. I just don't like to throw them around. One of the reasons I don't like to throw that particular title around is because of the kind of stuff that happens. There tends to be a large amount of machismo stuff that goes on. And what I learned a long time ago was called peacocking amongst the males. And, we're guys, okay? That's what we do. That's what we do. It happens. I don't like it. It's not one of my favorite things about our gender, but it's a thing we do. This competitive nature of the males. It's some of our male mysteries that we haven't really been able to figure out. We haven't really been able to embrace our male mysteries and look at these things. And part of my experience in Palo Mayombe was absolutely because of that. I actually. The clown, my emotional support clown to the right of me, got me involved. I didn't know a fucking Palo from a Balo. I know shit about a Palo. I had a student that was getting into Palo, and I just really never really paid him that much attention. He just talked so much. I really didn't pay that much attention when he was getting into Palo. But so it was actually Marta. Marta was interested in Palo, and I went with her to a house.
Remember?
Marta's an influencer. But there was a certain amount of that that appealed to me. I'm primarily a goddess worshiper in most of my witchcraft for most of my life. All of my friends have been women. I tend to hang out with mostly women, and the men that I know, most of them are gay. So that aspect...
I happen to get along better with men and hang out more with men. So that's what was appealing to me about it.
So that particular aspect, did appeal to me. It was embracing a different side of my spirituality that I hadn't really embraced. Right away in the house we first got involved with, they were all about warfare. That's pretty much all they did. But at the time, with the stuff going on in our particular lives and the witch wars that we were involved in back in merry old Santa Cruz, that appealed to me. A tradition that addressed that. It wasn't until I got out of that house, which wasn't, Munanso, which wasn't actually a Munanso, and that person had no, powers to have a Munanso, and
authority to do really anything. Anything that he did, he had zero authority to do it.
Absolutely, and until we found like a real Tata and got involved in real Palo, we didn't even know how wrong what we've been involved in was. The stuff that we saw, the amount of manga, which is a Palo word for blood, that we saw flow, we should not have been able to see as non-initiates, and we were non-initiates. We're going to be hearing words like Inkisi tonight. Help me speak this in like layman's terms. The Inkisi would be the spirit that lives in the Nganga. Is that good? Is that good layman's terms? The Nganga.
In that quote-unquote Monanso, and instead of saying Inkisi, I've never heard them even say that term, they refer to Enfumbe as the spirit that sits on your shoulder, and we later found out that Enfumbe is not the Inkisi.
So much wrong there, but back to where I was going. So the Inkisi is a spirit that lives in the Nganga. The Nganga also will be referred to several times tonight as the pot.
Or some Cuban traditions call it prenda.
Prenda. I don't know if we'll say Prenda. Just trying to get some of the terminologies out there so you kind of understand what we're talking about when we bring on our guest in just a minute. I'm already actually a minute over when I was expecting him, but I'm still doing my intro here. So the Nganga is the main tool of Palo. It contains a great number of things that I can't get into here, but it represents an entire world, an ecosystem unto itself, a spiritual planet of a kind. And when in possession of this thing, the Palo does all of their magics over this. There'll be different words like Bolongo. Is Bolongo just a bad magic? I always mix that up.
I thought Bolongo was just magic.
Okay, I think Bolongo is just the magic. So yeah, you'll be hearing that. And Fumbe would be the bones in the pot. The Ngangas tend to contain bones, and then different traditions have different things.
What's the word for knife?
I don't know, machete. Any rate, Ngangas tend to have bones. Different traditions have different things. Some people get their bones from a robbed grave site in Cuba. And in some traditions, from what I understand, you have to have the bones of a family member. And maybe Tata Oriate can talk more about that. I'm not sure, how far I'll go. But
that's the word for knife. I'm sorry.
So one of the reasons that we like to have Tata Oriate on the show is because he's one of the few people that will actually tell you anything about Palo. He's one of the few people on his YouTube channel that does anything about Palo. He's one of the few people in Palo that'll write a fucking book, because it's supposed to be a taboo to write a book. Now, part of the problem that I have always seen within Palo is that there's this strict adherence to certain rules and pacts that everybody talks about, but nobody has them written down because they can't write down books. Every other tradition on earth tried to be an oral tradition. The European traditions tried that too during the times of persecution, during what we call the burning times and all that. Didn't tend to work out. It's like the game of telephone. If you pass a word into one ear, and then they pass it to the next ear, and they pass it to the next ear, by the time it goes around the circle, it'll be an entirely different thing than you heard before. So I think, why do I not have it here? There we go. All right, just stand by there, Tata. They can't hear you yet. I got to turn on that other mic. But let me get through the framework here. God, what the hell was I talking about? Let's see. Hold on. I'll put you on in just a second. We can hear you, but I don't think they can hear you quite yet because your mic's not on. But I'm just trying to give them a few things to understand some of the terminology that will come up in our discussion, because there's, a whole mixed bag of people here. But you know what? I think I gave you guys enough intro. Here's Tata Oriate. Salam alaikum.
Walaikum salam. What's going on? How's everybody?
Good. We're having a fabulous time. Beautiful weather. It's always beautiful weather here in L.A., sitting up above the rush of the city. You're what? You're Florida, right? You're in Florida? Tata?
Yeah. Currently, I'm hiding in Florida.
Okay. So it's like nighttime
Florida.
there by now? It's probably dark there by now, huh?
It's like around 8:25. Like 8:25 around there. Yeah, it's dark.
All right. So I'm sure we're going to talk about a great many things tonight, but the thing that caught our attention being a magical community gossip show often. We talk about this kind of stuff. We have whole segments on witch wars. And, we just finished up a whole, weeks of witch wars, and we were just sitting around going, God, we're not in the middle of a bunch of shit right now. What are we going to talk about tonight? And that's, oh, look, Tata Oriate's got some shit going on. You're a content provider. Thank you for the material. So Tata Oriate and Eric Cologne, is that how you pronounce his name? I've only seen it in print.
I really even know his name.
Okay.
But
so they have a thing going on.
It's time to...
So go tell people what's like what started all this latest thing.
Man, I've lost even myself, because this guy, I don't even acknowledge him or whatever. He's the one that's always trying to talk on the low behind my back to people, and everybody's always going to come back and tell me something. I got somebody everywhere. I've been into this since I was a kid, and I know people, elders, and everything like that. It don't take me much time to figure out who's who. I just never really had this dude in my mind or anything like that, because I'm just trying to get myself better in the head and my tribe. I don't give two shits about any other Tata or anything like that, all due respect. But I'm just concentrated within my tribe. So this started way before with one of his little brothers or cousins or whatever the hell. That they swear they're the only ones that bring prenda in from Cuba, which I actually found out today is full of shit. And just started from there. They started talking crap. Well, he started talking crap this time. The other guys copped the plead with him and said we're going to talk shit no more, whatever the case may be. And then I come find out this weekend he's still talking shit. So that's how it went down.
Yeah,
and stuff. And
based on what I got from his video, it seemed like you guys had a sit down previous and worked out some other shit and declared peace. But there's something else happening.
Nah, I don't declare peace with nobody. I just ignore them. I really don't give a shit about them. Like I said, I'm up to keeping my tribe ahead and have my mulanzo going. I don't start no problems with nobody unless they bring up my name. And basically, they were getting jealous because they see that everybody's coming to me and everybody's coming to his house. His house is always full of people getting things done. And they were just not feeling it. They wanted a little publicity so they could get more viewers and stuff online and things like that, which is really not helping them. And this is probably like their third time attempt. And they basically started calling. He actually called me, and I got everything recorded on video and everything like that, trying to cop a plead and this and that. And I told them I'm really not the one starting anything. I really don't give a shit about them. They're the ones that keep putting my name in their mouth and whatnot. It's just some ridiculous kid shit. It's not even... I don't even call it a war because he ain't got shit to war with anyway. He's just a confused soul. And now that he got my attention because he's making up bullshit on my tribe, I started talking to elders and stuff like that. I wasn't into Palo yesterday. I've been into Palo since I was a kid, and I grew up with people up in New York, Brooklyn, Bronx, New York. I used to play as a kid over there, the drums and stuff. People in Cuba, Matanza, Cardenas, one of those places like that. We was around since I was young because I got family over there, and we grew up with, a lot of tatas and stuff like that. And it's really hard to bullshit because I really want to figure something out about somebody. That access is not that hard for me to get it. And now that I see that, he's full of shit because he's calling himself a Mayombe priest, and he's really from Quimbisa. He's not a Mayombero priest. He just ended up getting from Muerto Vivo, one of those people over there, a gajo from Mayombe, and calling himself a Mayombe priest. As we all know, Quimbisa is not Mayombe, it's Palo Monte. You understand? Because for it to become Mayombe, it comes from the Quindembos called Catalina Mangansaya, Infierno, María la Oprenda India, Isabela Isabelita, Maria Batalla, stuff like that. There was no such thing of these Siete Rayo and this and that. Siete Rayo we call Engofinda and things of that sort. And that's where he got the confusion about that. There's no such thing as a Pungo. The thing is that the Pungo, that energy, wasn't called what it's called nowadays when it went to, to Havana, became Palo Monte, Quimbisa, and the other thing where the black man ended up... a slave ended up giving the secrets of Africa and the slaveries in Congo and stuff like that to the white man and mixed up masonry, espiritismo, ocha, a whole bunch of shit, and it became a shit show. So Mayombe really comes from the two main houses.
I think you were listening to my intro before you came on the air, right? It's like this is a thing that I haven't spoken much about Palo because I think I need to learn a lot more. He's like, I became a priest in a couple years, and I think I need to know a lot more if I speak about it and definitely not speak for it. One of the things that I've always said, coming from my other traditions and having all those titles and going through all that stuff, is like, we tried that. We tried to be oral traditions. Every magical tradition tried that. Palo seems to be the only one holding on to that, But here I see the example of why not to do that. You know, you just said it, you know, Kimbisa, Monte, all these different groups, and then the different groups within the groups, like all the groups calling themselves Mayombe. I've come across several, and they're doing very different things. And they have very different beliefs, even though they're in the same subset of Palo. That's why I always kind of applauded you. It's like your books have been really worthwhile shit to have on my shelf, because nobody in Palo will write a book, because that's one of the great sins in Palo that you're allegedly never supposed to do. But if you don't, your tradition won't survive. The oral traditions will not survive, and especially with Facebook and everything right now, our ancestors never even conceived of this kind of shit, and how much is going to be lost. And in witchcraft, we've lost so much magic over time. I feel like it's my entire job is just remembering really old shit and bringing it up again. And you know, Palo's got some rich fucking traditions that I'm hoping don't get lost.
No, you're 100% right. And it's still out there. The thing is that the people that tell you they can't tell you some secrets or whatever the case may be with the outside skills, because in reality they don't know. So they're not going to tell you, oh, I don't know, you know, because then they're going to look stupid. They call themselves high priestess.
You know? Some are just using it as a smokescreen then, huh?
Yeah, let me give you a sample for the way I learned. When I learned, I couldn't have a piece of paper or pen. Now, that's true, because if they would have caught one, they would have beat my ass with them belly. And it's okay. I wanted that knowledge. But after I already proved myself, and I got to the point that I had to, then I started getting passed down the actual documents from Matanza and stuff like that. That is not a book from the Botanica or anything like that. It's handwritten, and it's long legal pages that you see it with the stamp of the folklorico and everything in Cuba and things and and such. You know, and as you see, these people that were talking crap, they're using the book of a Botanica to go through at me. And there's pictures taken and everything. You know what I mean? So how you a high priest? Are you reading a book from the Botanica? It all comes down to common sense nowadays. And just for the defense, for those that don't know the true tradition of Palo, maybe their godparents didn't teach them, so it's not that they being assholes or anything. That's just they weren't taught. But these people are claiming to know what they know, and they actually don't. They're just making shit up as they go. And you can just tell by the first 2, 3. I always told you this. The first 2, 3 sentences that come out of a Palero's mouth to know if he's really a Tatandi or anything of that sort, you'll know automatically. Like the stupid shit that this idiot says. And many others, you know. And it's cool to want to be the big man, but learn before you want to throw yourself out there, because you're putting people's lives at stake, and even yours. And your families and stuff like that. You're being very selfish in doing so. You know? And then they take advantage of these people that don't know nothing, that are mentally ill and think they're seeing things, and tell them that it's Palo, and brainwash their head to take all their money and shit like that. And that's exactly what's happening on that side. It's being seen as being well documented and all.
Wow. All right, so you and Eric had a sit down once upon a time, and then what happened that started this latest fracas, whatever we want to call this?
Oh, this latest. Well, I'm gonna be careful the way I say this for certain reasons, but basically, you know, in Palo, you need ratro from a house to be able to go to war to a house, right? You know what a ratro is? I'm gonna give you a lesson on one Palo, a short one, real quick. Do you know what ratro is in Palo?
Not yet.
Anyone? Okay, so we work with the shadow of the person. So we wet a simple way that we do it is we wet a cotton and we pass it in the doorstep or inside the bathroom of the Tata's house. So there, the war, if it comes down to war, we have something direct to catch a person directly spiritually. We're not working with the air, because you're working with pictures and names. It's not the same. We're working with the ratro. What's called the ratro. The how you call that thing? Another word for ratro? Yeah. I don't know how to say it in English, but basically the dirt of the person where they walk and stuff like that. So I already knew that the shit was going on.
So you're collecting.
You're
collecting the dirt.
Yep.
That they from where they walk.
Yeah. So
okay, that's not unfamiliar.
So somebody wanted to take it. Yes. Yeah. Somebody wanted to take a trip. I paid for it, and I got what I needed. So that's how that went down.
Okay, so let's get into that. So in your video was the first I saw about this. You sent a mole, for lack of a better word, into his Munanso to get a cleaning. Was it? It's I got notes. Rylan? Was Rylan the mole? I think Rylan was the mole. Yeah. According to my notes, Rylan
I'm not really
was the mole.
Yeah.
You-
I'm
you-
not really
you-
gonna say too much names because
Okay.
due to legal
Yeah.
reasons. Like
Well,
that.
I wouldn't say I
Yeah,
wouldn't
you
say
know
any
that.
of this if it wasn't already public, and you put it out there and he put it out there, everybody put it out there.
Yeah,
So
yeah,
I wouldn't
yeah,
talk
yeah.
anything about this if it hadn't already happened in front of God. and
Yeah,
everybody.
Yeah, but I'm always like being 2 steps ahead of everyone. That's just the way I work. I always been like that. But yeah, so basically we got what we needed and stuff like that, and found out even more and got entertained a little bit more. And so a lot of things that shouldn't go down and is not in the actual Mayombe tradition, not even the shrine, not even the patipemba. To do a cleansing, he's using charcoal to do patipemba on the floor of Lungambe. How are you going to do that to do a cleansing? That's what, when you're going to use Lungambe, the Concances is to attack, to make somebody sick, or to get spiritual enforcement in a certain kingdom, or whatever the case may be. And it's completely off. If you don't do things
Write
like
this
that,
down,
and that's how you
kids.
get somebody sick and make them go crazy. If you see this individual I'm talking about, his eyes are cross-eyed in the opposite way. His face look all hurt. His titties is down to his chest. He does not look right. You can tell in his face he does not look right. You can see that he has something dark in him. And whoever he puts his hands on, they're gonna end up dirty. They're gonna end up messed up. And they got to be more than crazy to let an individual that does things like this, and to put their hands on a person is just not fair for
All right.
the
All right,
other
so-
people. But people are desperate nowadays and try to get help where they shouldn't get.
So
my
you-
people, I really don't care who goes to them. That's their problem.
Okay, so you talked about this on your video, and you had the guy there with you. I saw him, and then Eric talked about this on his video too. So you sent the mole in. What was the mole supposed to find out? Because you said it on the video, but I don't think everybody's seen the video.
What I do is when we need hatred from a person. That's the only way to put it. Dirt, like a wet cotton, and dirt comes from the floor.
Wet cotton. Okay. That's what
Hello?
the mole was for. Okay. So you, God, I wish I'd watched your video again. You said that you. Are you there? Yeah. You said that you sent.
Yeah, I'm here. You cut it off for some reason.
Yeah, you did that too. Hopefully it'll get past
can't
that.
hear.
All right. We good? You back? I may have to play a song or something.
Yeah, I'm here. You kept
Okay.
cutting off.
Yeah, you did too.
Yeah,
did
you was
too.
cutting
did
off
too.
badly.
Okay. So you also so you sent your guy in there to find out something, and you said something. It's like you didn't send a fake pot in. You sent a fake something into the house to see if he could tell. Am I getting this right? I remember this from your video. I forgot to review it today before I went on the fucking air. But there was it was a pretty elaborate plan you had sending this guy in there. It sounded like.
Is he still talking or no?
No, I'm waiting for you to
Yeah,
talk.
it's cutting off bad. I don't know what's going on.
Skype does that sometimes.
Oh, you're waiting for me to talk?
Skype does that sometimes.
Yeah,
I was just trying to.
rapper is when you grab. What the hell? Okay, can you hear me?
Yeah,
Hello.
we're good. Hello.
All right. The ratro is basically. It's not going. It's cutting off bad. Let me see. Is your phone doing the same?
We hear you. I don't know. Somebody said lost signal, but
You can hear me?
yeah, I hear you.
Okay.
Hello,
So that
hello.
means ratro is a wet piece of paper or cotton. You hear me?
Wet piece of paper
Hello?
or cotton? Yes, wet piece of paper or
I don't know what's going
cotton. Wet piece of paper or cotton.
I don't know what's going on. Is this from my side or your side? Yeah, that's all you need to get ratro of a spiritual person. Like you spoke about it yourself. Remember, like when you was doing the show with the witchery thing, that you said that be careful when you leave things laying around that somebody could just grab something, whatever the case may be.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, everybody does it.
Yeah. But in this case, I don't steal. I just take a little dirt from the floor. You know.
Yeah.
But that's the only thing that's for, and then use that for protection against the person if anybody's going to do something or whatnot. Then you could do certain things like what's called masangos or so forth and whatever. Somebody already on your ass trying to figure out what's going on. Because to a point you have to be war and whatever's going to come in. But honestly, those people are no threat whatsoever. But I just still want to be ready anyway, just in case I want to be an asshole. So it all depends.
Right on. Okay, so
that's the way that went. I don't know if I just, okay.
I watched your video, and then I think Eric's just came out yesterday or something, his response to you. And I was watching it. I don't know the guy. I don't have a beef with the guy, but I'm just watching the guy. And he opens up the video. He called himself a Tata and Kisi, which to me means a Tata without an Nganga. And then towards the end of the video, he's a Tata Nganga, and he's got an Nganga in the garage. So it was like this transformation I witnessed. Maybe, I don't know, is he just, used to calling himself Tata and Kisi? Did he just get an Nganga? I don't know. I don't know the man. But that was a bit odd. So I'm just trying to watch your video and watch his video and trying to piece this thing all together. And that's one of the things I got.
Yeah, definitely. He contradicts himself a lot. He's just a clown. And a lot of people is falling into it and stuff. They kicked him out of multiple Mulanzos in Brooklyn and whatnot. Multiple Mulanzos, and there's paper track of all that stuff there from different people. And he's just an idiot. I don't even want to pay much mind to him.
So let me ask you this thing. I wrote I rather than play his video, I just wrote down some key points there. He says that Rylan, the mole, came with his mom, old woman. He brought his mom to the Ryman. Okay, so that was kind of odd. And then, so there seems to be a two-tiered strategy you had going on here. First, you sent the mole. You said this. He also agreed that you did this. Sent it into his Bonanzo to find out. I'm not sure what he was trying to find out quite yet. I think you cut out when you were trying to tell us about that. But then Eric.
Oh, just Ratro. That's it.
What's that? Okay.
No, it was just Ratro that we was getting. That's it.
Okay, so I guess he didn't get that part. So, hopefully he's not listening to the show.
Parts.
Hopefully he's not listening to the show.
I'm pretty sure he is.
But then he says that he went to your godson's house in his city on your dime.
Yeah.
And made them dinner.
Yeah.
And
which he got happy for $1,000-something. I don't even get off a bed for $1,000-something. That tells you how thirsty he is and how vulnerable for such of a major big priest.
Well,
Sad.
yeah,
so that's what that came about.
I heard that he was bragging about the dollar amount that he made, and from what I understood, your godson was sent there to get a cleansing, and that sounded more like the price for a scratching.
My money.
That sounded more like what I hear people getting charged to get scratched than get it fucking cleansed. It's a few $100s or something like that. And a rooster.
No. And then he starts with a charcoal doing devil faces on the floor with the charcoal, and he's doing that freaking social media bullshit that you see all over the damn place. That's what he's doing. That's what he's doing. But what I don't understand is why he's so in back of me and his little people behind me trying to figure me out. Like, what? What are you trying to figure out? I am who I am. And I've been here all my life. What are you trying to figure out? It's me. And I don't understand this hiding part because I don't hide from nobody. Anybody that truly knows me knows I won't hide from anyone.
Yeah.
I think we caught off again.
No, I'm still here. I'm looking at my notes here. So let's see. He says, Eric says that you're mixing Palo with Shango. What the fuck is he talking about with that?
How the fuck am I? If I'm the first one, and even in my books I say about people mixing things up, how I'm going to come and do that? My Kindling was not even in my house. My Orishas are in my house, and you can see it in all my videos, and I'll do a quick run-through with my camera where you can see it later on and whatnot, and maybe he sees my Ogun, there's a big Ogun there, because Ogun is my father, and Ochun is my mother, but the idiot don't know shit, so the stupid people make stupid comments, and they just know stupid things, basically. It's an idiot, that's what I can put it as.
I got, let's see, in the chat room they're saying, Evelyn's saying Tata Oriate loves his tradition, lives for it, breathes for it. Therefore, he may resort to unconventional methods to vet someone. So is that what this is? It's a vetting? With Eric?
It's a more watching out for myself because these people... Yeah, that's just me watching out for myself because him and a couple of people from his so-called tribe are like stalking me in the low, like trying to be sneaky on the low. They trying to stalk me, and I catch them every time they try to get close. I catch them, and they jump back. So I'm fed up with this. So now I'm ready. And you can ask Evelyn Borgono right there. She was in my house. She came to my house and Sean, and they seen my altars how they are. Do I have any orishas, ambulance anywhere near my Kindembos or Candangos and stuff like that?
She's actually saying that in the chat room right now.
Books.
In the chat room, she's saying Tata never mixes in
and
Pungos and Orishas. I've personally been to his home. He has never done this. This is all a lie.
I got many witnesses. I got 1,800 plus witnesses that could come up on the show and say the same thing about when they came here and got initiated into Palo. Into real Mayombe, not that crap that he's in. Kimbisa is a whole different thing. Kimbisa's scratching is not even like Mayombe at all. You know, and the traditional Kimbisa, they run around like little bitches and put Peju around the wall of the room for like that. The bad spirits don't come in and that. And Mayombe, we don't do none of that crap. We go straight in and do what we got to do. The energy is already controlled by the actual priest. So I don't know what the hell this guy is doing, you know. And just because he got a little pot from somebody else that I personally know because I started investigating this since yesterday and tonight, it's not making him a Mayombe priest. And they all met on mysanteria.com. All of them, including his wife. All of them.
I never heard of that.
Santeria Maca.
Like a Santeria hookup
site.
site.
Remember because I was in another screen. Yeah, it was basically something like that, but it was for 21 division, but they say my Santeria Maca, I don't know why. And they don't even remember they were asking me to teach them some things since I was under another screen name. And that's why he was talking about that I like his wife, but because I was making the joke over here on the video here, because I just finished doing some scratchings. I was drinking with all the guys and stuff, so I was like 5 a.m. I was kind of drunk, and I was laughing about the situation. I said, hey, let's do a video. You know what I mean? And that's one thing, except that I'm on drugs. I don't use drugs, okay? I drink and smoke cigarette when I'm drinking. That's about it.
He said you were on...
like drugs, you know?
He said you were on pills. He said you were coked out, and he said you were drunk.
Yeah,
now, I watched it. You had some whiskey in front of you and some Coronas, but I don't think
anybody that knows me, knows I don't do that shit.
I don't think you were drunk. You know, I remember very well our first misas when we first got scratched, and our Tata got mounted by, I think it was Candela, and she drank like a fish. And we kept having to fill up this wooden bowl of fucking with rum. We just got to pour it in there. Kept having to hand her cigars, and she was just going off. She was a character from hell. But this guy fucking put away this entire bottle of fucking rum. And when we were done.
When we were
done with the ceremony, we weren't even getting scratched yet either. That was just our misas. Not drunk at all. I just no way. Marta over here, the clown to the right of me, she's Russian, man. She could put away that fucking vodka. There's no way she could have put away that whole fucking bottle of rum and not been fucking staggering all over the place. But as soon as the ceremony ended, Tata was back. I guess Candela was drunk on some other plane, but nothing. So the fact that, you know, this idea that you can't have alcohol after a fucking ceremony, oh my god, that was ridiculous. We always had a drink afterwards.
Since I was 14. Since I was 14, I had a drink after the ceremony. You know, that's the way it is. And it's always been like that with all the tatadis you meet, they do that. All the tatadis you meet. So I don't know what he's talking about. He looks like he's on drugs and drinking without even having. I think he had a glass of water and he looked all messed up. So I don't know what the hell he's talking about. It's just a clown. He's a clown all the way around.
Well, we ain't judging here on fucking Widdershins. Like when I was 14 years old, I was teaching witchcraft to my coke dealers till fucking 5 a.m. And being coked up made me fucking talk more. I taught more fucking witchcraft. I don't do that anymore. And that was a long fucking. That was the 80s.
Look at that.
Yeah, that was the 80s.
Look at the little bitch right there. My bitch is on the line.
Well, he says he's your daddy now.
He's my daddy. He's my bitch daddy. That ugly motherfucker ain't shit.
Did you watch the video?
He don't got nothing. I got all of his things. Do me a favor. Post on the chat room everything from the past and everything on there. And I already know the other bitch was the one that went and got him, so it's all okay. How you doing, Kimbicero? Insala Malongo Yaya. So yeah.
Let's
and talking about mixing, he's with this dude that calls himself the Living God. That he's very close with him, that mixes a whole bunch of shit. And he's gonna come say I'm mixing something. I let my viewers and my God kids talk for themselves to see if it's true what he's saying.
No, I'm not even sure about that.
You're cutting off again.
I've as you know, our particular path of Palo was.
Now he says Ratro don't know water.
Our particular path of Palo, we were kind of like,
I can't hear you.
Can you hear me? Hello, you can't hear me.
I'm here.
Now you can hear me. Okay. So our particular path of Palo, as you know, it's like we were kind of taught some things and then kind of go learn to fucking know your Lucero. Commune with him and learn some shit, and that's what that's one of the first things we were left with. And when I was first working with my Lucero, I developed a bond with him, and he would ask me to put shit on his head, and some of the shit that I would put on his head were like Western herbal magic, as I've seen, in your book. Some of the herbal magic crosses over into the Western terminology. It's the same stuff we use that shit for. And next thing I know, my Lucero looks like he's wearing a ghillie suit. Looks like he's a sniper. He's fucking covered in fucking foliage. But he worked that shit. That shit that I wanted him to work. He asked me to put all kind of random shit on his fucking head. And it didn't matter that those were not African plants. It didn't matter that those were plants I had around for Western ceremonial. It was mixing. I've done witchcraft on my fucking Palo shit whenever my Palo shit said it was okay. And back when even the first non-house that we work with, it's like half of the magic they did in Palo was hoodoo. But according to them, Darren Kesey said he would accept it. So with regard to this mixing shit, if you're in Kesey says it's okay, who gives a fuck? Go ahead. You were going to ask me?
So you tell me. So somebody that talks about that I'm mixing things up. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear you.
Hello?
Yeah, you're good. You're good.
Yeah, so somebody is talking about... Okay, somebody that's talking about I'm mixing stuff, like best friend with a dude that's mixing all kinds of shit that's on meth, and they even making documents together. What does it say about this clown ass? What does it say about my little bitch? He don't know nothing. And he's not Bejo Corfinda. I got some documents that are going to go on right now on this chat live. That's trying to go in there for you. I can read it and see his picture from young, where they beat his ass in Brooklyn for claiming to be something he's not in the Mayombe. They whipped his ass. He had to run like a little bitch to California and live with his girl. So it's a lot of things, They coming at me the wrong way because I've been in this way before he even knew how to smell a tit, He's bugging. He's crazy. And I don't even know what he has against me and what he's after me because he's doing the wrong target.
Tata Oriate sent me several documents from Cuban houses refuting Eric's position, but I can't, they're in Spanish. Yeah, I'm not that good. I can fiddle my way through some Spanish, but I couldn't read them, so I can't, really claim, what they said in the documents. But what you said they said in the documents was they were different houses refuting their association with him. Did I get that right?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. It comes out. Palo Monte came out after. Like a branch off of Mayombe. It's not actual Mayombe, and that's who this clown is about. Palo Monte, and he's claiming he's Mayombe. He's not Mayombe. You can see from his shitty altar and everything. that I'll pee on, so you can see that it's not even strong at all. There's no elders. Can you hear me
He
over
said
there?
that same thing to
There
you.
is no elders that's recognizing him. No, but listen. There's no in all these days where people I know personally, I found out, and there's no elders in Cuba that's recognizing him. Which I'm gonna make a few videos with the elders, but we're gonna talk about that later on. Hey, Mayombe, yeah, and what he was doing in the gay dating site. That's it. Well, if you're a Tatandi or whatever, what you're doing on the gay dating site, it's all over the internet. And I didn't put it out there. It's just public information that's out there, which I'll be putting on. All right. So you are gay. You most likely gay if you're in the dating internet. You probably even kissing Candelo's ass because he ran and got you. I know his little bitch ass was the one that got you. Yeah, stupid. Another idiot with fucking pinwheels talking about that he's gonna fucking Mayombero. They could both go suck a dick, you know, because I already knew this was a setup. But I got more things to say before I hang up. So he was caught in a dating site. What else? Not long ago, these people harassing him out here, putting fears in his clients. And going into further investigations, we got like 15 of his own people. Can you hear me clearly over there, Beth? Yeah.
Yeah, I hear you.
15 of his people already coming to me, saying he harassed them and everything. That he's threatening them not to leave the house and this and that, and trying to take their money. And keeps people as an engager for 10, 15 years, or 10 years, 9 years, whatever, a long time, so he could still take money off of their back. This is a scumbag that is not even worth breathing for. You know, and I even got more stuff here, but I'm about to flip out because I just saw the little funny play that happened. But yeah, these people are idiots. Don't go by these social media clowns. They do not know what's Mayombe. They may know other things like talking shit and scamming, but Mayombe is not for them. They don't have shit on it. Did you put the post up? You can't put it up? Well, I got it up on my Facebook for those that want to see the post on this guy. So that's basically it. I mean, any other questions? If flip the script on these two idiots.
Let's go to a musical break, and I'll figure out something else to ask you. We'll be right back.
Okay, good. Let me say bye-bye, two bitches.
Bad Religion on Widdershins Radio, and I gotta tell you, people, that the Mile High Conjure Gala is right around the corner, people. It's October. This is happening November 9th and 10th in the Mile High, Colorado. A one-of-a-kind event in Denver, Colorado that brings together esteemed teachers and elders for a weekend, opening the world of conjure to you. And the presenters, and Candelo's usually the master of ceremonies, so he probably is again. We got Candelo Cambisa, Professor Charles Porterfield, Brother Moses, Michelle Jackson. I don't know Brother Moses, but those three right there, that's worth the price of admission. Beverly Smith, Ifa Abeyo, I like her too. Yaya Joycey, I like her too. And of course, we love us some Hoodoo Semois. You gotta check this one out. Hoodoo Semois. Get out there, get yourself some tickets at conjuregala.com. It's coming up. It's a one-of-a-kind event, spurred from the beginnings of this show. It's like right when this show was starting, Tiger Gate was happening. The split off from the Lucky Mojo Curio Company and many other fucking people that went out there and did it for themselves. And now we have these other events and all kinds of things going on. Sometimes it takes an explosion to send some seeds. So get out there to the Mile High Conjure Gala, November 9th and 10th this year. Get to conjuregala.com, get your tickets, details, and all that kind of stuff. We got Tata Oriate chomping at the bit over here to say some more stuff. Let's see, we've been talking about his latest public fracas with Eric Cologne. I think we may have milked that for all it's worth. I don't know what else to say except, let's see. He said you're coked out and drunk. Tata, are you there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay,
Yeah.
there you go. Yeah,
I'm here.
You didn't look like you were coked out or drunk.
I'm laughing.
You guys had some beers in front of you.
Oh my God. I was drinking. I got more money than this dude could even conjure in his bullshit magic. I'm telling you right now. He's crazy. I just don't show it. I do not use drugs. All the people that's here knows me. I do not use drugs. That's just his way because he has no way to hit me direct. So all he has, when somebody's drowning and screaming like a little bitch, that's all he's doing. And I'm gonna throw something at him. And remember, like I said earlier, Matanza, you can't be gay to grab one of the secrets. And only a few of us grab secrets from over there. Why are you in a gay dating site that's in a public documentation that they made over you? You can't make that up. There's not even photo editing that's gonna help you with that. So you tell me. So I'd rather just use drugs than false claim what you're saying over there. But anyway,
well, that's kind of the thing
Mike,
with
what else you want to hear?
Well, it's kind of one of the things with Palo. It's like we will hear these staunch homophobic stances from Mononsos, and they will say it's in the pacts and everybody has to follow the pacts, and also women have less rights in most houses because of the pacts, but then there's other houses that don't seem to follow all of that. So this is kind of the problem with this oral tradition. Go ahead. What do you got to say? Maybe I'm wrong.
All of that stuff started from all that started from Kimbisa and Palo Monte. Now, there's nothing wrong with because I got gay godchildren.
Which
and all
stuff? The homophobic or the misogynistic? Which stuff started there? The homophobic or the misogynistic?
No, that's where it started, that they started allowing people that were gay in and stuff like that, which is no problem. I just can't because I come from the house of Matanza. We're not allowed to do that. You automatically will be kicked out and put down. I don't know why, whatever the case may be. But in that point right there, and what he's claiming to be, they won't allow that at all. At all. At all. At all. No two ways about it. Not if the prenda tell them to or not to. It's just not. It's taboo. That's how come I can't do it and initiate gay people, because then my ranking goes to shit. But I got them in Sanse, 21 Division, and Ocha. I have a bunch. I love the LBGTV. I love all of them. I'm not against them, but I can't do it. You know what I mean? And my wife is one that has in Sasi for 18 years. she has a pot for 18 years, and she sacrifices, and all my yayas can have prendas and sacrifice. So we let the woman do, that the woman can do this, do that. It's just machismo stuff. That's just to keep them down on the floor. When they do work, their work works quicker than even us men. So that's just idiots like this guy that makes excuses and stuff like that and keep people as an gay for like 20 years or some crazy retardation stuff there.
Well,
so
all right,
how do you make the rule about the gay people not being
Well, I know, but it doesn't seem like the rule is held by all, and that's again the problem with oral traditions. Now, for all whatever faults my Tata has, mi Tata tells this story. He's gay. He went to Cuba. He got his own infumbe at the graveyard sites. He went there, threw the chumalongos on the fucking on the graves, chose his own fucking bones. Like other people. He paid grave robbers to get them or whatever. But he received his scratching in a house in Cuba and was honest about it. He said, well, no, before we continue, you got to understand, I'm gay. And he tells this story to me, and the Tata looks at him and goes, so what? What does that mean? He says, well, in America we're told that you can't be gay and be in Palo. And he goes, well, you're a man, right? And he goes, yeah. And he said, you have a penis? Yeah. He goes, and it works, right? That was the funnest part of the story. And so then the guy goes, so what? So, pretty prominent house in fucking Cuba. And this guy, this prominent house in fucking Cuba, they don't seem to know about that. So I don't know if the people always talk about the pacts and the taboos and all this stuff, but without people writing anything down, that's never going to translate. So it seems like some of the homophobia stuff, some of the misogynistic stuff, hasn't translated into all the houses because nobody wrote it down. And I'm not really advocating for people to write that down so that stuff continues, because the rest of the world has changed. Now me, what I was taught, what I was taught in Palo was, it was about my ancestors and my dead, and that we were to elevate them. And that was the whole thing. Like, before ever working with each individual ancestor, I had to go through a process of elevating them ritually before working with them. I don't follow a lot of what I'm taught in Palo. I would think that when I'm dead, when I'm freed from this mortal coil, I won't be held down by all of your prejudices and bigotries here on earth. I don't think they'll matter. To the extent where some people say, you can't be in African traditions because you're white, and those people will be very offended because of your whiteness, I would think that they would have transcended that after death and realized that slavery was not invented by white people. Matter of fact, in biblical times, it was black people enslaving the Jews where we first fucking heard of it. But then Greece did it, Rome did it, everybody fucking did it. It was all about the rich enslaving the poor. And it didn't really matter what your skin color was until the Dutch and American and British got involved, and then it becomes a black thing. But before that, slavery was a thing fucking everywhere. But I want to see my ancestors elevated. I don't want to, view my ancestors as holding on to these old bigotries, these old hatreds that don't matter once you're freed from the wheel of life. I'm hoping that once I'm freed from the wheel of life, I won't care about any of you motherfuckers or any of this shit. It will look ridiculous to me when I'm on the other side. That's what I'm hoping for my own elevation, and I wish that for my ancestors too. Go ahead. You're the guest. Talk.
No, I'm basically done. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. That stuff for the white. There's another thing this idiot said. Oh, who will initiate this white retarded clown? Like, what the kind of? Why are you gonna say that? You know what I mean? If the Bumo says, the Kindebo says he's allowed to come in, he's allowed to come in. So he's contradicting himself in a lot of ways. But I'm enough for him already. That's it. After today, I'm waiting to see if he's gonna come kill us like he said he is, because he ain't gonna do nothing. He's a clown, like many others on your page. On internet and stuff like that. You know, they're just clowns, man. I don't pay no mind. He just has to back up because he's barking up the wrong tree right now. And this is not what Palo truly is about. You know, Palo is union, is a medicine. It's not just to be throwing spells to each other, and it's definitely not work the way these idiots are doing it. You know, it's beautiful. There's so much to it. But if they take their time to learn, and instead of acting like they're Mr. Big Man, and take that pride and joy and put it in that honor to learn how to work Palo correctly, and with the heart, with your heart, and help people get ahead like I do, they'll have just as much fun and even more maybe. Because they got the gift of gab, you know? They got the gift of gab. Instead of holding people down and making them believe in things that don't exist at all, or making up a ranking and stuff like that. Don't even do that. Man, I wish you come down here one time, Michael, man, and I'd like to show you some stuff so you can see my yombe in my side of town, the way I was taught. I would love for you and your wife to come down. I'll pay for the food and drinks and everything, man. I want to show you some stuff. I'm not saying that you don't know nothing. I'm just letting you know. I want you to see the way that I was taught, the Langa Congo way.
Let me tell you, Tata. When even I remember my Tata initiation and having a machete in my teeth, and they said, "What is your name?" And I told them my name. They said, "You don't know shit." And they said, "What is something else?" And I answered, they said, "You don't know shit." I admit that. That's my entrance into Palo, and it's different than in witchcraft. In witchcraft, you know the shit, and then you get initiated in the shit. You already did the shit, and then you get initiated in the shit. In Palo, you didn't know shit, and then you're initiated in the shit, and that's when you start to know the shit. So I admit, you know, I did not even want to. I held off on doing Tata for quite some time. Most people just rush right into it. It's like, no, I'm going to fucking be an Ngeo and learn some fucking shit before I claim such a fucking title. So I admit the shit that I don't know, and I got a lot to know. That's why one of the other reasons I don't throw that around. I don't tell everybody I'm a Tata. You know, other people keep telling it. One of my students, and every time he posts, he says, High Priest and Palo Michael Carell says this, and High Priest and Palo. I don't fucking ever say any of that shit. And partially because I don't want to get in this kind of shit that you guys are always into, man. You go out there and throw yourself out as a Tata, you're going to be in a fucking stick war. But
it's true. It's ridiculous.
But really, this stuff does go on. Somebody called me on. I was at Hex Fest and I did a thing, and in the middle of my speech, I talked about Palo, and I said something to the effect, it's like, well, and then Poleros, that's all they do is throw on each other. I doubled back. I didn't leave it at that. I followed it up on it, but it's been my experience that this kind of thing goes on a lot in fucking Palo, and to what end? It's like you're vetting somebody, you're exposing somebody. That's cool, but it's like this shit just always seems to go on. And even the first house that I was in, as bad as they were, they called it peacocking, and I've seen that many, many times since then. Oh, you're in the chat room. I see you.
No, it's crazy. Oh, I'm everywhere. I'm watching every angle to see what this fool gonna do. But yeah, anyway, this thing is really not a battle over whose tribe is bigger. It's just a jealous person that has a crush on me and is after my house, and he's just chit chatting in the background. He ain't gonna do nothing. And California, I got over 600 children, and I got children everywhere around the world. My name is already proven out here. I don't need to prove nothing to this clown. I mean, honestly, he's just dingling on my testicles. I don't know why, but it has to be jealousy, and maybe he wants to get the same fame or power. I don't know. I don't know what it is. Or maybe it's that site that he goes to and he likes my voice in my face. I don't know anything. I don't know what the hell it is. But something not right with that boy, and it's best that he just steps back, because it has nothing to do with tradition at this point. It's more personal, because he's already irking me, and it's going to get serious. You better just chill out. So that's about it, man. I have to get back to my readings. I really thank you so much for having me on. And any last things you want to ask before I go?
Shit, you want to ask anything? We covered more than I thought we were going to cover, but yeah, get back to your reading stuff. Thanks for coming on, Tata. Yeah, well, you keep saying that.
No
We'll see.
problem. Hey, remind me. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Remind me this week. Remind me this week if I could get Yaya to send it out. Because I always say I'm going to do something, I forget. And
Okay.
all my godchildren know that. That's the way. My head is not all there. So you remind me during the week. Send my love to your wife and your family. You be safe, guys. And salam alaikum, alaikum salam.
And I think we'll be meeting relatively soon. All right, man. Salam alaikum. Thanks for coming on. No, that's not the one I wanted to play. All right, well, Tata Oriate, while I look for a song, that was... he's still talking? He didn't hang up. All right, I hung up. All right, well, that was quite a thing. God, I kind of think he bagged on Candelo at one point. It was going so fast, I couldn't even... No. Candelo's my bro, man. No. And that's... God, you know... I wish it wasn't the way, and I wish I stepped back on my statements that I made in that rant at Hexfest, but there's something to that, you know, the machismo, the peacocking that goes on. It's like, but in another sense, you know, I grew up in, you know, Wicca, and in Wicca, we were not male dominated, and it was actually very female dominated, and we were expected to accept certain slights and abuse from the females, as it was the goddess spirituality movement time, and I've always said that men have never been able to really, you know, spiritually look at our mysteries. Our mysteries are enshrouded in war and strife. It is part of our way. And during the times of goddess spirituality, we were never allowed to look at that. And that's just, you know, really, for me, one of the things that first appealed to me. Although our first house... quote unquote, our first quote unquote Munanso that was not a Munanso was all about war. That was one of the things that attracted to me. I learned a lot more about Palo, and that Palo wasn't just that, and there was a whole lot to it. It was a very rich series of traditions. I learned that later. You know, when me and Marta got scratched, we got, you know, our Tata said, okay, well, I'll bring you to her, and then we'll throw the chamalongos and see. And we're going, her? Who's her? And his pot was Madre de Agua, and she
got scratched. It was just to see who.
And she wanted us. Madre de Agua wanted us both, a lot. Really quickly. They barely got the chamalongos fucking out, and it was a fucking done deal. But I hadn't even known that there was female prendas. I knew shit. I didn't know shit. Okay? I admit it. But I didn't even know there was, you know, goddesses involved and stuff like that. And then sure enough, we got scratched to one. And, you know, it was perfect because we lived at the beach. It made perfect fucking sense. But I learned a lot more about Palo. But it is the warlike thing that first brought me into Palo and first attracted me to Palo. It was something Marta wanted to check out. Marta was interested in it. I was like, all right, I'll go with you to this fucking thing, whatever this fucking thing. I didn't give a fuck. I was like, whoa, you know, this is some shit. And even the bad Palo that we'd, you know, gone through, and then the good Palo, after an entire life of paganism, and I'm sure, you know, Paleros don't like the terminology, but with regard to paganism being about earth and earth's spirituality, and that's pretty much what it's come to mean, Palo was the most pagan thing I'd ever seen. It was literally in the fucking dirt. It's always on the fucking ground. You're down in the shit. You're doing the shit. All of the spirits are about earth. Spirits of earth. more pagan than any pagan I'd ever seen. A lot of the paganism I'd been brought up with was kind of paganism, was afraid to get any mud or blood or anything else on him, and Palo wasn't that fucking way. That got me attracted to Palo. Very rich tradition and many variations of the tradition, but I'd never really spent any time embracing my masculinity, embracing my manhood. I was always a goddess worshiper within Wicca. We're on the air right now, honey. That would totally distract me.
Okay, sorry.
But oh God, where was I? But embrace that side of myself. I was always leaning more towards the feminine side in all of my magical practices, and this was the one that fucking went there. And I've always said, it's like we men in witchcraft and in paganism have never been able to figure our own shit out. Women have their feminine mysteries, their women's mysteries, and we don't try to figure those out. We're still trying to figure fucking women out. You know, the ones that aren't gay. Even the gay guys are still trying to figure fucking women out. But we've never been able to figure our own shit out. And part of the male mysteries do involve strife, warfare, struggle. It's kind of our thing. Many women have engaged in it throughout history, but it's kind of our thing. And we've never been able to really explore that and figure out where that's appropriate and where that's not appropriate. We're just taught that, we're exhibiting toxic masculinity and we should just stop. Well, suppressing a thing always works, doesn't it? Just sitting on a thing, that fucking always works and, always becomes better. So we just ignore our warlike ways and not figure out, where they apply, where they don't apply. Palo helps me do that. And that's my outlet for a lot of those things. But I'll still say to this day, if I got 3 months to wait to get a thing done, I'm going to do me some witchcraft. But if I need it tomorrow, I'm going to go Palo. I'll say it again. We'll be back.
get out. I've been running out, now I'm running out. Don't be mad about it, baby.
Shove 'em up
Dead Kennedys on Widdershins Radio.
Shit!
Join in the magic of Hexfest. Tales of the Crescent City of New Orleans stretch back over the centuries. It's an enigmatic place where voodoo, hoodoo, witchcraft, and even Christianity blend at the crossroads of spiritual power. On August 7th to the 9th, 2020, Brian Kane, Christian Day, and the Witches of New Orleans present Hexfest, a weekend of witchery held in the historic French Quarter. The conference opens with a riverboat ritual and dinner held on an authentic steamboat on the Mississippi River, followed by 2 full days of workshops, drumming, and ritual at the Bourbons Orleans Hotel, a venue riddled with a history of hauntings. Hexfest has gathered witches, root workers, voodoo priests, and other magical teachers from within New Orleans and around the world to offer their time-honored wisdom. Between workshops, attendees will lever the magical shopping in our on-site vending hall, where you can purchase powerful ritual tools, signed books, exquisite jewelry, and spellcrafts handmade by true practitioners. Presenters for the 2020 Hexfest hail from across the spectrum of witchcraft and magic and include Brian Kane, Christian Day, Austin Shippey, Carrie Ewers, the Dragon Ritual Drummers, Elohim Lefar, Ellie Barnes, Ellen Everett Hopman, Starlick Cabot. Starlick.
Twice.
Okay. Starlick Cabot. Fiona Horn. Gemma Gary. Jason Mankey. Jason Miller. Kenya Goviak. Christopher Hughes. Lady Rhea. Leanne Maramar. Levi Rowland, Lilith Dorsey, Sandra Maria Wright, Sen Elias, and if that wasn't enough, Witch Doctor Utu. You got to be at Hexfest. All right, we'll probably be at Hexfest. One way or another, we'll be at Hexfest. You got to get to hexfest.com. Get your tickets, because they're going to sell out. Even though we're plugging it way ahead of time like we did last year. But last year we were under a contractual obligation to do so. Now we are doing so of our own free will, which is how our anarchists like it here on Widdershins Radio. Widdershins Radio comes to you every Tuesday, 5 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. But if you haven't checked it out, we have a daily show now, a news show. We cover all of the morning's news, or like Monday, we cover all of the weekend's news at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on the same channel. It's a beautiful day. It's a beautiful day. We call the show that to try and cheer ourselves up about the depressing shit that we're about to read you every day, and it tends to work. You know, we just keep repeating "It's a beautiful day." It's like a sound bite. It's like a talking point. It's like a motivational phrase that we stick on the fucking mirror, but it makes us fucking feel better, and we'll make you feel better about the fucking news. So join us Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Pacific Standard Time on It's a Beautiful Day on the Widdershins Broadcast Network Incorporated. I think you got to follow us. I keep telling you all the time. You got to follow. We have this large package at Widdershins and Spreaker, and we just started giving you, we were giving you just the tip. Now we're giving you like a quarter of the shaft, okay? We're still just teasing you. We can go on the air 3 hours per day, unlimited times per day, and you never know when we might randomly decide that. One day we decided, hey, let's do a fucking daily news show, and we fucking just did a daily news show. We don't have to talk to anybody. We don't have to set up another fucking program. We don't need another fucking package. We got a big package. We can give you more of our package. You'll never know when we're going to go live. Like right here in the heart of Hollywood. We've got the mobile broadcast system on Witterson. If news is happening, man, we could just fucking go there and fucking do that fucking news, and you'd never fucking know we were on the air if you didn't follow. And we're on countless outlets now, but whether you're on fucking iHeartRadio or Google Podcasts or Apple Podcasts or Tumblr or fuck, I don't know where the fuck but there's a follow button or a subscribe button, or even on YouTube, our rebroadcast, there's a subscribe button. You probably still won't get to know when we go live on the air. I think that broadcasts later, but still, you could just go to Spreaker.com/user/Wittershins and follow us. Then you'd know. Or in addition to all of this shit, you could just get on our Facebook page, Witterson's Radio. Witterson's Radio is at Facebook.com/Witterson's Radio, something fucking like that. You'll see our fucking logo. You'll know it's us. You get on there, you get a notification when we go live. Okay? Yeah. Witterson's. We're all over the goddamn place. I got a year and a day course in witchcraft coming up November 1st. It's at gumroad.com/witch school, which is of course WITCHSKEWL. The class will not become visible until November 1st. So Samhain, somewhere after midnight, the class will appear, and then you can sign up for it. But if you want any more information or want to sign up for that class, you got to contact me at Witch School, WITCHSKEWL, at gmail.com. I had a hard time getting into our Witterson's Radio account, but you could also send this stuff to put on the air at wittersonsradio at gmail.com. I may have to ask Marta for the password. Maybe that was the problem. I think she set up the account, but I couldn't get in last time to see our emails, and I'm sure they're just piling up. I'm sure our listeners are just like sending us stuff all the time, and I cannot see them. But Marta's drinks.
You forgot the last password too. Remember you? Like,
yeah. I
this huge thing, and I was like, why didn't you just ask me?
Yeah, that's why I said I'd ask you this time. All right,
And
so.
maybe I'll tell you.
So I don't know if we have a whole lot more to say. Marta's drink's getting towards empty. I got to fix dinner soon. We're back at about 15 minutes of the show. But this is the thing. Let me be the white elephant in the fucking room for a minute, okay? The white elephant that's been allowed to engage in certain African traditional religions. What I've seen in my time in Palo of these Kindling wars and Peacocking, y'all are fighting over crumbs, and your rulers, they got the cake. Okay? These guys are across the fucking country here having this fight. But the other Manonso is probably not anything that's really holding you back. I mean, I understand, Tata Oriate was trying to, like, vet somebody that was, teaching, wrong stuff, fake stuff or whatever. But these things that go on between the Manonsos, these things that go on in the witch wars, they're all people jockeying for a position that is really pointless, that really won't yield them much should they hold that position. If Tata Oriate wins or Eric Cologne wins, how significant will that be in their houses, being there on opposite sides of the country? I don't really know. But this goes on. Witch wars go on. People jockeying for position for, retail space in certain areas, or whether, my coven's better than your fucking coven. They're crumbs. They're crumbs. Even to the witches, I will say the same thing. Although, you weren't black and were slaves, you were fucking peasants. I lost connection? Oh, my goodness. With fucking crumbs.